people. It is a Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we indeed set oppression ablaze. We set it on fire, literally with flame, with accelerants, with pitchforks and all kinds of untenable shit. We setting everything on fire that involves oppression and systems of oppression in order for us and our children's and our great grandchildren's to get free and not later. Now, God damn it. Welcome everybody to the program. Thank you all so much for showing up and being here. Shout out to everyone that's already getting it started in the chat. What's going on? Courtney, what's going on? Alicia, who else we got up in here? Anna Hart, Jonathan Guerrero was in the building. Shirley is up in here. Quaker Socialist, Cape Socialist. Checking in with us from the continent, Cape Socialist. What time is it in South Africa, darling? I'm sure it's rather late or perhaps even early. But we appreciate you tuning in today for the live show. Shout out to Pookie Wood. By the way, let me shout out to everyone that is in the Dallas area dealing with some very challenging and dangerous weather conditions with the tornadoes and the storms and all that fucked up spring weather that we are seeing become increasingly stronger and more deadly as climate change becomes worse and more obvious. So we're sending our love to the good people in Dallas, Pookie Wood. I hope you and your people and everybody was good down there. And shout out to everybody in Texas and anyone that's in Tornado Alley, baby. I told y'all, I used to live in Oklahoma and Missouri. Tornadoes are scary as fuck. Tornadoes are scary as fuck. Your little hurricanes, I understand what damage your hurricanes can do, but baby, you can see a hurricane coming on radar for several days away. The fucking tornado pop up on your ass like, what's up now, bitch? And you be like, damn. There's not much you can do about a tornado. It's pretty devastating. So shout out to everyone that is dealing with that today. There's that. So, okay. Coming on onto this program. Oh, real quick. Want to shout out to our new patron. Shout out to Ayana. Ayana's checking in with us from Mexico. And Ayana, I did get your email. I would love to have you on the show, Ayana. Ayana wants to come on and talk about being a black expat. Yes, we are for that. Totally. And can I direct you guys to another black woman's YouTube channel? I don't know this woman personally, but I have stumbled upon her channel and I am inspired. Her name is Stephanie Perry. Go find Stephanie Perry's YouTube channel and subscribe to Stephanie Perry. Stephanie is a black American woman who is a year-long house sitter. Now, I have not delved into the particulars of how she supports herself, etc., but from her presentation, she indicates that she is a year-round house sitter. She is currently spending the winter in Curacao in somebody's house. And she's definitely trying to encourage black women from Europe as well and from the U.S. To get the fuck out of Dodge. And that is a message that I totally stand behind. So if you guys don't mind, go check out Stephanie Perry's amazing YouTube channel. She's got some good shit on there. Now I got some good shit on here today too. Now, coming up later on the show, we're going to give you an update about the status of WNBA star and Olympian Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner remains in custody in Russia behind some bullshit fucking charges stemming from an alleged transportation of hashish cartridges. All bullshit, ACAB, all cops are bastards. Russian cops too, okay? Them motherfuckers is lying to make Brittany a political pawn and thereby a political prisoner in this escalating standoff between Russia and the West. But there's an update on Brittany's situation, which I'm sure you guys already heard, but I am going to personally continue to talk about Brittany Griner until Brittany comes home. Period, point blank. Because guess what? If I ever got hemmed up in a foreign fucking country on some bullshit, if they ever said, hey, we caught Kim smuggling bricks of anything, it's a lie. I assure you it's a fucking lie. Now, because I am a admitted very public stoner, some people be like, Kim was probably trying to smuggle some. No, the fuck Kim was not, baby. Kim can get her drugs right here stateside. I ain't got to smuggle shit back into fucking America. I know what time it is. So I'm just saying, the reason I am partially my personal reasons for continuing to speak Brittany Griner's name and say free Brittany Griner is because I understand how easily lots of people are led astray when some sort of besmirchment is cast upon the name of a black woman. People usually tend to nod and be like, yep, I can see that. Fuck that shit. Brittany did not do that shit, and we're gonna keep talking about Brittany Griner until Brittany Griner comes the fuck home. Also, we're going to give an update on some labor actions. The labor actions are percolating across the U.S. Out there in Richmond, California, the Chevron workers, oil refinery workers, are on strike. 500 of them, they are United Steelworkers members. We're going to check in on that. Plus, the adjuncts, professors at Howard University, go to I Mix What I Like, Black Power Media. I believe Gerard, Dr. Gerald, Gerard spoke with them youngins, if I'm not mistaken, or he's going to talk with them today. But either way, BPM is on it. We are on it here also at Burn It Down with Kim Brown. We're going to check in with what the adjunct faculty are demanding and what is their deadline to say, guess who ain't teaching no more classes this semester at Howard. And then I assure you the Howard administration would be very, very sad. We're also going to talk about, guys, the looming new subvariant of Omicron, because the world, Earth, the globe, remains in the throes of a pandemic, despite America out here just being leading the way on being goofy as shit as how not to respond to a global health pandemic, which 2 years ago, guys, it's been 2 years this week, when Anthony Fauci and Dr. Birx and Donald Trump got up there and first started talking about the emergence of the coronavirus and how then, in March of 2020, Dr. Fauci was fretting about the possibility of losing between 100,000 and 240,000 American lives to COVID. And what's our number? I'm sorry, did you say 1 million in 2 years? Yes. North of 1 million. This country is a failed state. We are in a possibly more precarious situation now than we have been. And please don't forget that COVID killed more people in the U.S. in 2021 than it did in 2020. And the year is still very young. So we're going to get into all that. Were you trying to talk to me, Tunde? Got you. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. This is where I want us to begin the first.
Hey everybody. Just hold up a sec. Kim seems to be having an issue with her connection. So we will be with you all in just 1 minute. We'll get her back on. Till then, we're gonna play some jams here. And yeah, hope everybody's doing all right out there.
Hey, 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 let's go, let's do it. Cypher, spin it, fire, burn it down. We might go down. uh, anyway, yeah, y'all already know something goofy happened. The goofy thing that happened is I knocked out the power cord out of the fucking laptop, and then that's that. Y'all, that full moon in Virgo whooped my ass. I have to confess. I mean, the full moon last week, right, left, jab, hook, uppercut. Jesus Christ. Cosmos, please let me be. Can I just live? Can I just exist? Shout out to everyone that stuck around. What's going on? Leah! Who else got in here? And now we got Kim Z 24/7 up in here. Esther's here. Dawn is in here. Afraid not. Donnie. Chelsea One Hundo is in here. Let's go. Is that Shades? Is that my darling Elena? Hi, Elena. Oh my goodness, I love y'all. Oh, what's up, Vesper? Hi, Vesper. Hi, Vesper. I'm so happy to see my people up in here. Anyway, Ursula, darling, Stone Alona, and Lady Heloise. I haven't seen Lady Heloise. What's going on, Damien? Is Lady Heloise mad at me? Please tell her. Please don't cuss me out. Y'all, I actually had a chance to chat. Just a side note, I had a chance to chat with Stone Aloner and Heloise. I don't know, what was that, Damien? About a month ago. Woo child! Heloise was cussing motherfuckers out in Britain. In British. Woo! That child was letting the niggas have it in British. I said, oh shit. Let me stay on the good side of Lady Heloise, because she will cuss you out on some tea and crumpets, indeed. But this pertains to our UK sister and a brethren, and to our Caribbean sister and a brethren, and to our sister and a brethren in Latin America as well. So, William and Kate, the Duke and Duchess of, what the fuck are they, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, yes, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, the Duke and Duchess of Blood Money, Duke and Duchess of Slavery. They are on a royal tour of the Royal Empire. Ooh, that British Empire don't even slap. It never slapped. Let's start there. But even the sound of it, orally, it just it lands quite sinisterly, does it not? So William and Kate, plus Nate, they decided that they are on a world tour. Now, I don't keep up with the royals. I am not a royals watcher. I couldn't even really give a fuck about Harry and Meghan, by and large. My opinion as an American, Black American, looking at the royal monarchy, is obviously it is very antiquated. We need to talk about burn it down. Start with Kensington Palace. Go in there first and take back all them jewels that the British colonizers stole from every fucking corner of the earth you can think of, and return it back to the people from whence not only the jewels, but of course all the wealth and the resources originated, right? It's really that simple. And that same sentiment was very much on display, and is currently today on display, as William and Kate are touring the Caribbean. And they started in the Central American country of Belize, which, has indigenous history. I don't know, is it the Mayans? It must be the Mayans that are indigenous to Belize, or the area drawn as Belize. Let's just say that area of Central America, the peninsula, that beautiful portion of the country, where British colonizers and Spanish colonizers, a lot of colonizers came around, planted their flag, committed genocide, stole resources, sent it back to the crown, and claimed these places as their colonies. Imported Africans, by the way, to work all of these places, as you all know. So William and Kate began their tour in Belize this past Sunday. Oh, no, but it wasn't met with all parades and smiles and shit. No! The indigenous folks of Belize said, wait a motherfucking second. We don't fuck with y'all. y'all are not invited here. And actually, here's a list of shit y'all owe us. And that same similar protest is happening today in Jamaica. We're going to check in with Jamaica in a second, but I want us to start with, it's going to be A1 Tunde. This is from the Belizean news agency called 7 News. Now, I do not know the political slant of 7 News. I don't know what people in Belize think of 7 News, but I was encouraged to see that 7 News went directly to the indigenous people who were protesting the state visit of William and Kate, who gave their reasons why they were protesting. And so in that vein, I am quite pleased with the coverage that 7 News of Belize provided this story. So this is a report straight from Belize and talking to the people there, the indigenous people, about why they did not want to see William and Kate's funky asses in their country. Let's take a look at that.
This is the football field in Indian Creek Village, where the Duke and Duchess's chartered helicopter is set to land on Sunday. But not if the villagers of Indian Creek have anything to say about it. They feel disrespected because they weren't consulted about the trip and feel that if Prince William wants to visit, then he should land somewhere else.
We don't want them to land in our land. That's the message that we want to send. They could land anywhere, but not in our land.
But why stage a protest against the prince 2 full days before his arrival?
The state, I would call it the state, has informed the village that anybody who disrupts this activity will be arrested.
And just like that, the supposed freedom of speech that these villagers should be entitled to has been stifled by protocol. We spoke to one villager who explained why William and Kate shouldn't walk into the Indian Creek FFI dispute without having all the facts.
Look like the man one just come and like they want just push himself in our land, in our village without knowing nothing. So that's why this is our land. We need our land. We are not knowing if he that they want for buy this land. Our land is for we, and we need land for our children. And the land that we use for, we plant corn, beans, and all the grown food.
And to add insult to injury, village chairman Sebastian Scholl says that he only found out about the visit of FFI's esteemed patron when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs requested that he clean the village football field.
A woman from the foreign minister called me just day before yesterday. She is apologizing, telling me that, yes, it's a duke that will be coming, it's a prince. So sorry that we don't tell you ahead of time. So it's my apology. So just yesterday or day before, she is trying to invite me in this occasion. I feel disrespected because of they didn't give us the information, not even the alcalde. So they just told us to clean the area. So how can we start to clean the area if we don't know anything?
And if that's the case, is the village's gripe really with the Duke?
Who has the mistake? Is the organizer. Who is the organizer? Yes, check.
Imagine you going to Kensington Palace. You can't just show up there. You have to be able to dialogue and see if you even can go. So reverse it in our role. Reverse it in our role and say, why would the state be aiding? It's like the state is aiding these colonial masters by doing that to us.
Whoa, come on now. Them people know exactly what time it is. And they were like, what the fuck you mean clean up our shit 2 days before these bitches show up? I'm sorry, what do you think this is? Oh, they must think that they are still royal subjects, truly. All right, clean this shit up. They're gonna be here 2 days. What the fuck are you? Are you even serious right now? I want to read you guys something from this professor who teaches at Universidad del Pacifico, and his name is Alfonso Gormende. And on Twitter, he posted an interesting thread about what the actual issue is with the indigenous folks there of Belize and the royal visit. Well, they indicate that So if you're seeing pictures of this, which we in America probably are not even seeing much of this, like you kind of had to go look for this. Shout out to Stoner Loner and Infinite Content who tagged me on separate stories about these protests, by the way, which I thought was interesting. And shout out to all the people in Central America and the Caribbean who are resisting this colonizer exercise, this fucking photo op. But Professor Gurmendi goes on to detail that the trip was meant to focus on conservation, that William and Kate were visiting a farm owned by Fauna Floral International, an organization that partners with Prince William's Earth Shot Prize, okay? And at Farmers Flora International, however, is currently in a land dispute with Indian Creek, the people we just saw there, a Maya indigenous community that claims Fauna Flora International has appropriated parts of their land to pursue its conservation goals. The villagers protest because they feel disrespected. You goddamn right. The person who was financing Fauna Flora International's buying of this land, of Indian Creek land, wants to land a helicopter on Indian Creek land that is not even to visit Indian Creek villages, but a fauna and floral cacao farm. This, of course, without even asking the community if they could land on their land. The levels of disrespect, right? The levels of disrespect that continue to be flaunted by imperialist powers, colonial powers. Even to this day, we are deep in, well, not that deep in the 21st century, but fuck, we are a generation deep. We 20 plus years deep into the 21st century. And them bitches is like, hey, no, this shit is still on and popping like it was in the 1800s. No, we just show up and y'all roll up the red carpet, roll out the red carpet, that is. And, you know, we hug, kiss, you brownies. we continue to enrich our powerful corporate financier powers that extract the resources and the wealth from these black and brown places that send it back to Europe. Yeah, just keep doing this shit business as usual. And the people are not with the shit. So that was part of what the resistance looked like in Belize. And again, like for example, so I looked at the Today Show of Australia, because the Australia and the American Today Show also follows the royals extensively, but to the extent that they were following this specific trip in America, I'm not sure, but in Australia they were. And Australia's Today Show clip of the protests were downplayed drastically, drastically. And I wanted to actually hear from a journalist who reports for 7 News, but who appeared on Sky News. And the journalist very much gave additional clarification to what the Indian Creek residents and the owners of that Indian Creek land, what their big issue is, and why it is important that we still talk about these things in the year 2022. Tunde, let's take a look at A2, please. And this clip was from Sky News. Sky News.
Flora and Fauna International is one of the oldest wildlife conservation groups in the world, and they really run deep with the royals. Prince William is just the most recent in a line of patrons that stretch back all the way to his great-grandfather, George VI. So the issue comes up, is it neocolonialism that he continues to patronize this organization, which has just recently bought over 12,000 acres of land that is disputed as Mayan communal land? This dispute is something we in Belize have been reporting about for a very long time. And if Palace Aids had just done a simple Google search, they could have seen that this was a problematic area and that probably it should have been reconsidered. It is unfortunate because I know that the Duke was traveling there for his conservation efforts. He gave FFI an Earthshot Prize last year, but this dispute has really caused Kensington Palace to reevaluate the trip to the cacao farm.
Hello, mic check. All right, wonderful. Can you guys hear me? Mic check. Hello. Hello. Excellent. Okay, so the interesting thing about that is William and Kate and the British Crown and the whole Kensington Palace needs to reassess every single time these royals are visiting one of their republics or one of their former colonies or present colonies. Because the 21st century is the year that black and brown people are fed the fuck up. Okay, we're not going to be quiet little subjects any longer. I mean, not to say that we ever have been. The resistance and the rebellions from black and brown people to colonialism have been ongoing literally for hundreds of years. And I suppose that we are just the latest link in that chain. But now it's bad press, right? Now it's bad PR. Now it is something that cannot simply be ignored or, quite frankly, just be flat out whitewashed. And I wanted to take a look, guys, because so that was the status of the royal visit in Belize over the weekend. And now William and Kate have traveled to Jamaica, and Jamaicans are saying, what the blood clot? What the blood clot with the royals? A fire upon them royals. I said, yes. More fire them. But here's the funny shit. Now, I hope Good Morning Britain doesn't ding us, because sometimes they be some little hoes about this. But this clip was kind of funny to me, so I had to bring y'all this clip from Good Morning Britain. Now, it is going to be, we're going to do A4 Tunde first. So they got Roland. I don't know who this nigga's name is. he's the correspondent for Good Morning Britain. I'm sure his name is Chauncey or something. What's one of them? Rupert. One of them very Caribbean names where you meet black men named Rupert. You're like, nigga, Rupert is your name? Are you sure? But yes, name is definitely Rupert. Anyway, who just ran us some bucks? Thank you so much for the bucks. We're going to take a look at this package from Good Morning Britain, where they were anticipating and trying to take the temperature of Jamaicans in advance of William and Kate's visit, which again is happening today. There was a protest scheduled to happen in Kingston, 10:30 this morning near the British High Commission Court, whatever the fuck, right? Who's hit me some hola? ¿Qué pasa, Jose? Hey, Jose, thank you so much. Gracias, muchas gracias for your super chat. How do you say super chat in Espanol? Chate grande. Oh, that's probably, I don't know how to say it. But thank you, Jose. We appreciate that. So the Jamaicans were with the shit and are protesting the royal visit today in Kingston. But I wanted to take a look at this Good Morning Britain package because y'all are going to bug at who they went to in Jamaica to ask them about the political state of what Jamaicans are feeling towards the British Crown. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. So let's take a look at this clip.
This statue of Queen Victoria is one of the many symbols of Jamaica's colonial past. When the future king arrives here later, he will find himself in the middle of a debate as to whether this island should remove his grandmother as head of state and become a republic.
Jamaicans don't want the Queen. I can tell you that. They don't want to be controlled by nobody.
Known as the king of dancehall music, singer Beenie Man says a lot of people's frustration is from Britain's role in the slave trade. And unlike the Queen, he doesn't believe Prince William can keep Jamaica from becoming a republic.
If Harry did there now, people would have react different. People that go meet Harry. But William, but no one see that. We are just here, controlled by the British, ruled by the British law. When you're going to the court, is all about the Queen and the Queen serve and the Queen this and the Queen that. But what they're doing for Jamaica, they're not doing nothing for us.
So how do Jamaicans, young and old, feel about the Queen?
The symbolism of the Queen is that of oppression.
Me like the Queen. Me love the Queen, I'm at half.
I think she's kind, do a lot of things for us in Jamaica and those stuffs.
The Queen's daughter-in-law, the Countess of Wessex, told Good Morning Britain in an exclusive interview the Commonwealth is her mother-in-law's greatest achievement.
I think it represents the Queen's life's work, and I think she should be really proud of what she's achieved. It's wonderful, and it's always good to catch up with our Commonwealth friends.
But as the Duke and Duchess prepare to be formally welcomed to Jamaica's capital city, many remain divided about their role and future.
There's a lot there. First of all, Why they asking Beanie Man? Listen, much love to Beanie Man for sure, but I mean, I don't know Beanie Man's politics, but Beanie Man said something really strange right there. He said, "Yeah, Harry them can come, but William, we don't want William." And like, Nico, what is the difference, seriously, between William and Harry? What, one of them got a half black wife? Is that a standard these days? But okay, fuck it. Beanie Man weighed in on the situation. I know you guys are very much assured to get the Beanie Man position. But so interestingly enough, and I wanted to take a look. Now, this package that we're about to see came from WION, and then we're going to move off the royal roasting, as I have coined it, by the colonized to the colonizers. But just to give you an idea of the extent of the slave trade done by specifically the British Crown, right? And specifically into the Caribbean. No, let's take a look. This package is from WION. And whatever you may think about WION generally, I found their collection of the facts of the history of the transatlantic slave trade as it originated from London, from the British Isles, to be pretty informative 3 minutes. Okay, so, and the presenter, she sounded like her accent, like she could have been Jamaican, actually. If you go to, everybody been to Jamaica, you know there's lots of Southeast Asian Jamaicans and straight up Asian Jamaicans. So her accent sounded tiny bit Indian mixed with Jamaican, a tiny bit, with the hint of British schooling in there somewhere. But check out this 3 minutes presentation of a quick summary of the British role, heavy role, in the transatlantic slave trade during the height of the colonization of the New World. Let's take a look at that.
What goes around comes around, sometimes in the form of a frisbee, sometimes as a haunting nightmare, and sometimes in the form of a long, long bill. The Queen of Britain will soon receive one. It will be from Jamaica. The Caribbean country is asking the British Queen to cough up billions. What for? As reparations for slavery. Quick background. Jamaica was a British colony from 1655 to 1962. The colonizer introduced sugarcane cultivation in Jamaica, and to support it, Britain introduced slaves. People were stolen from their homes and forced to work in the field. Many were shipped across to other countries as part of the transatlantic slave trade. In 1662, there were 400 slaves in Jamaica. By 1734, the number became 86,000. Between 1702 and 1749, nearly 300,000 slaves were imported to Jamaica. More than 100,000 were exported. It was only in the year 1807 that the British Parliament abolished slave trade, and it abolished slavery in 1837. By then, Britain had abducted and enslaved at least 12.5 million people. 12.5 million people enslaved. Many of them were Jamaicans. In 1833, Britain paid off 46,000 British slave owners. They were given £20 million, almost 40% of that time's annual budget. What was this money for? To compensate for the quote-unquote loss of human property. What about these human properties themselves? What did the government give them? Forget compensation. Did Imperial Britain even offer an apology to the slaves and their families? The legacy of the slave trade still stings Jamaica. The country has been asking for justice for some time now. In 2015, then British Prime Minister David Cameron visited Jamaica. Jamaican leaders asked his government to pay reparations. Cameron was told to atone for the historical sin. The Prime Minister refused to even offer an apology. Here's what he said instead. David Cameron told Jamaica to move on. Reports published around that time revealed why he may have been so anti-reparation. Turns out one of Cameron's own family members was among many slave owners to have received compensation for loss of slaves. Jamaica did not give up its fight for justice, though. The Culture Minister recently said, and I'm quoting, "We are especially pleased to announce that we have made further steps in our strides towards seeking reparatory justice for the victims and descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. The petition is being presented to the Queen of the UK and or the government of the UK."
Well, there is that. Shocker. Former Prime Minister of the UK, David Cameron's family, participated in the slave trade. Didn't want to apologize for slavery. Couldn't even fix his face to say that he was sorry for his shithole country running slaves for, from the 1600s and being in control of Jamaica through the 1900s. And let me shout out the opposition party in Jamaica, again, part of the ones who were organizing this protest today in Kingston against the royal visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And they are demanding that Jamaica become a sovereign republic, very much like Barbados did late last year, which was fantastic. Of course, we celebrate Barbados. And shout out to Barbados, by the way. And if y'all looking for new citizens, hey, look no further. I will be right there with bells on, taking the place with whatever the Bajan version of the Pledge of Allegiance is, which I will learn that shit frontwards and backwards. Count me in as a new citizen of Barbados. So I wanted to bring you guys the story, even though, Belize and Jamaica still obviously under some authority of the crown, but the people there are not with the shits. They have continuously not been with the shits, and they are still today letting the crown know that they are still not with the shits. They do not support being colonized. They do not want to be under any sort of British rule or authority and do not want the Queen as their head of state. So yeah, shout out brown and black people in colonies saying, fuck you, fuck you, buddy. Hey, if we got some people that are watching us right now and you are not already subscribed to Burn It Down with Kim Brown, would you kindly take a moment to smush subscribe? Or if you're watching us on Twitter, can you follow us at BurnItDownKB? We are trying to get to 2,000 Twitter followers. We are just knocking on that threshold, so help us get over the hump. And if you guys would not mind following us different places around the internet at BIDWKB on Instagram, on Facebook, and we are on TikTok as well. I'm starting to try to get a little bit more involved in the talk of tech. Shout out to Northern Witch. I hope you are over there having a good day, sweetheart. We are also on Twitch at BIDWKB. The story I really wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is important because, listen, I know we have viewers from around the world, and I know you guys have complaints about your own countries, right? About the leadership, the governance, the way in which your countries are governed. However, I sincerely doubt that you guys have the distinct displeasure in living in a country as stupid as America, but as arrogant as America. Like, it's not enough that America is just dumb, right? America is dumb and arrogant. America is dumb and arrogant and armed. America is dumb, arrogant, armed, and rich. America is dumb, arrogant, armed, rich, and racist. So, that makes America the most dangerous country on the face of the earth. Not Russia, not China, not North Korea, not Iran. The United States is single-handedly the most dangerous nation on this planet for a myriad of reasons. But fear not, fellow citizens of the globe. America's not just dangerous to you. America's very much dangerous to us, those who live there. And most dangerous to those of us who are black and brown, not Christian, not straight. Like everyone who is non-white, straight, hetero, Christian, male, everybody, all them people is in danger, girl. All of us, we remain in danger. And one of the ways in which we remain in danger is that, hey, we're still in the midst of a global pandemic. Now, I know the United States has moved on from COVID. COVID is over. COVID, that shit is so last year, despite the fact that we had a very high number of hospitalizations and deaths, these maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago. January, early February, really wasn't looking that great in the United States. In fact, it was around that time that the CDC had decided to adjust its masking guidance and suggested that people wear N95s or KN95 masks because the cloth masks were not doing the job against a very highly transmissible Omicron variant. Oh, what a day when the tables have turned. Well, guys, here in the US, there's a shift happening, and it's bad. And it's bad. The shift is that the United States government is drastically drawing down its funding for COVID support, COVID mitigation, for COVID vaccines, for surveillance and tracking new variants. The United States is dialing a lot of this shit back. Okay, if we could pop up B2 for me, Tunde. It's very it's insidious almost as it is. I really don't see how this is not intentional to say that COVID funds are running out. And I'm really not sure how the fuck that's even possible. And just to give you guys an example, because this article, pardon me, went on to detail some very key things. So people who do not have insurance, effective, I think it's April 5th, are not going to be able to go to your local pharmacy and receive a free vaccine or a booster, not without cost. Testing, mass testing funded by the federal government is also about to go away. White House and basically U.S. government funding for monoclonal antibody treatment is about to drop by 30% this week. This week, okay? And what's happening is there's a lot of finger pointing happening between the White House and Congress. The White House is saying that Congress is allowing this funding to fail and to not be replenished. Congress is saying that the White House is sitting upon piles of money that it has not spent, and that the states are also sitting on piles of money that is not spent. But what's scary about this is the timing of all this. So the timing is significant in a couple of different ways. Okay, so like I said, uninsured Americans, according to this Forbes.com piece, uninsured Americans will no longer receive free COVID-19 tests and treatment as of March 25th, and vaccination coverage for the uninsured will end April 5th. Okay, now I mean, just mention anecdotally something that my mom brought up to me, because when she went and got a COVID test many months ago, she was there, she had insurance, and my mother got a COVID test with insurance, and they sent her a bill for $600. While she was at the COVID testing location, a uninsured person walked in off the street, said they did not have insurance, and that person was able to pay $150 out of pocket, right? So there's a huge discrepancy there, right? A big discrepancy there, and I'm sure there's a lot of stories similar to that of people getting bills for supposedly free COVID testing. Well, if you got a bill before, you can totally expect to get bigger bills now. There is another significant part of this that I did not want to slide over, because the pandemic is still raging. The United States still leads the world with the number of overall COVID infections and the number of overall COVID deaths. I have to hammer that home, guys, because the United States, from a public health policy perspective, is operating as if those two things are not true, right? As if the United States does not lead the world in COVID infections and lead the world in COVID deaths. But we are the ones who are slacking, pardon me, on our pimping, for lack of a better term, slacking on our pimping when it comes to nationalized public health mitigation factors, right? As we're seeing the indoor masking mandates being lifted everywhere, every fucking where, except for public transport, this is horrifying. And when it comes to the amount of cost that is about to be borne on individuals to even stay on top of your health, to stay abreast and current with your vaccination and your boosters. Because guys, this part of the article, let me read this. As Pfizer reportedly plans to ask for a fourth COVID-19 shot for over 65s, for people over the age of 65 and immunocompromised people, the White House the White House says that it does not have the resources to purchase enough additional booster shots for all Americans, including any updated shots designed to combat future variants. Our failed state has abandoned us in the height of a pandemic. And not to say that this should come as a surprise to any of us, right? This is what capitalism is expected to do. God damn. They're not doing this other places, y'all. They're not outright just cutting people off of everything, right? So we were shorted during our federal stimulus. Joe Biden still owes each of us $600. We ain't forgot. The eviction moratoriums have gone away. The unemployment supplements have gone away. Now the masking mandates have gone away. The funding for free vaccines is going away. The funding for free COVID-19 testing is going away. And you know who's not going away though? BA2. Omicron's little buddy. Omicron done founded a new friend. BA2 and Omicron have been kicking it and kicking it. And I wanted to take a look today. It's going to be B1. So from the University of California at Davis, their School of Health, they put out this video at the end of January. And here we are in March with the United States faring well, I suppose, because I guess we're in purgatory, considering we have been in literal hell when it comes to COVID infections, hospitalizations, people who require intensive care and intensive treatment, and of course, deaths, right? We have been in hell. And our leaders like to make it think that, oh, we're just in purgatory. Isn't purgatory lovely? No, this is the calm before the next storm, because we are thinking, cognizant humans. We can notice and detect patterns. And we have been in this lull pattern before, in between surges. And when the surge comes, it's bad and it's fucking terrible. But previous to now, there were mitigation shit in place, and all the mitigation shit is going away, but the surge is coming. Let's take a look at this quick explainer of the BA2 subvariant of Omicron from the University of California, Davis School of Health. Let's take a look.
This appears to be about 50% more contagious than the original Omicron strain. So it's about as different from the original Omicron strain as Delta was from the Alpha strain, the one that was first discovered in the UK. The preliminary data suggests that it causes the same severity of disease, but it is causing infection in different populations. It appears to be affecting younger people disproportionately. Many of these children don't end up in the ICU because their symptoms are milder, so it does tend to cause milder disease. However, since so many more children are being infected, then we're getting higher hospitalization numbers than we got with previous surges. We don't know how common reinfection is, but we have had reports of several people who've been infected with the original Omicron strain, BA1, and within a month, they've been infected with BA2. So there does appear that it's either so much more highly infectious that it can overcome previous vaccine or infection-induced immunity, or that it just may be able to evade immunity due to some of the mutations that it has. Vaccine is still the #1 way to protect yourself against this variant and all the variants. Even if you get breakthrough infection, you'll have partial immunity, and that'll result in decreased risk of severe infection that may result in hospitalization or death. And then the second way to be protected, the second most important, is masking. And if you can, if you're going to be in a crowded situation inside with people outside your household, then an N95 mask will provide better protection compared to the standard rectangular disposable surgical masks. And the standard rectangular surgical masks, those are better than cloth masks because they're standardized and we know how well they protect and that they do provide a good fit in general.
Right. What he said. So keep in mind, and I keep saying 75 million infections. I'm certain that number is north of that by now. But studies are continuing to emerge about the long-term effects, not only on adults, but of children, of COVID infection. And even what appears to be a mild case of COVID can have lasting effects on everybody. It's estimated that somewhere between 10 and 30% of all COVID infections will result in long COVID. So if we have 75 million American infections, so we're talking what, between 7.5 million and 22.5 million people could be dealing with lasting long COVID effects, debilitating, making them disabled in some cases. The medical people that I trust now, I can't say it's the CDC, but the medical folks I'm listening to continue to hammer home that COVID is not necessarily simply a respiratory ailment. It is a vascular ailment. It affects the way the fucking blood runs through your body. It causes blood clots. It causes all kinds of nasty shit that, again, we are still very much at the infancy of understanding the totality of this virus and of the illnesses that this virus causes. So how can we so arrogantly send ourselves and our children back into what is potentially going to be another dangerous situation, another dangerous Easter season, possibly, guys? Because correct me if I'm wrong here, Male, but I saw that Germany is experiencing record high COVID infections. I think the highest of the pandemic, if I understood that right. So everything that Asia and Europe experienced, the patterns have indicated to us that shit is coming for the US, baby. It's just a matter of time. And a lot of people still out here unvaccinated, that at this point it's a personal choice. Like, people know what time it is. They can do whatever they want to do and do whatever they want to do. But at the same time, here we are with another surge possibly on the horizon, likely on the horizon. And your next booster is probably going to cost you something out of pocket if you do not have insurance, or shit, even if you have insurance, because you want to talk about who has gotten over in this pandemic. It has absolutely been the insurance companies, it's been big pharma, it's been a lot of people, everybody except the workers, right? But that is who both Republican and Democratic politicians swore. They said we was getting over. They said the unemployment payments was too much, Joe. They don't want to go back to work. People are sitting here getting over. Meanwhile, Amazon got over, Kroger got over, Target got over, Big Pharma got, all these motherfuckers got over, and they still getting over. So they about to get over on us some more while continuing to cut public accessibility to the shit that is going to end up costing us more. Again, illuminating the failures of the American healthcare system and of the American state, because they have prioritized capitalism and the health of this economy the entire way, more so than that of the people, and who are going to be likely those who are going to be bearing the brunt of this next Omicron BA2 subvariant surge. It's going to be essential workers. It's going to be our healthcare, our medical professionals, our nurses, our doctors, our nursing home people that assist with our elderly loved ones. It's going to be our school teachers exposed to these filthy ass children. Not y'all's kids, but the rest of them kids is filthy as shit. Not y'all's kids. Y'all's kids is very clean. But the rest of these kids is out there filthy as shit. It's going to be the teachers. Oh God. Oh God. our restaurant workers, our chefs, our kitchen staff, our wait staff. Just prepare, y'all. Do whatever you need to do to anticipate this next surge, and don't let nobody give you no shit for still rocking your N95 or KN95 mask in public, because it is necessary. I wanted to move along really quick here, and talk about some labor actions, because there's some things happening. So, Tunde, if you could pop up C1 for me, please, because so this latest strike action is coming out of Richmond, California. The Chevron workers, where did my article go? This is actually from the website of the United Steelworkers Local 5, where they put out the press release that the United Steelworkers of Local 5 votes down Chevron's, quote, last, best, and final proposal and prepares for unfair labor practice strike, which, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, started today. Jonathan Guerrero, I don't know, is that you a little bit south of the Bay Area, but you somewhere in that neighborhood, yes. So the Chevron workers are protesting for a number of reasons. One of the things they are protesting is their rate of pay. They have asked Chevron to increase their rate of pay because, as you guys know, given the price of gas, the price of petrol in the U.S., it's ludicrous, right? It's astronomical. It doesn't make no goddamn sense. So clearly, Chevron is making money hand over fist, and there's no reason why they can't share some of these record profits with their workers who work in filthy conditions. But that's also another thing that the workers are complaining about, is that the conditions that they are being subjected to do not meet the safety standards of the work in which they do. So again, this is the Richmond, California refinery. 500 members of the United Steelworkers of a Local 5 are now on strike, and that strike action began this morning. Now, let me read you a bit from their press release. The USW encouraged Chevron to return to the bargaining table, but it refused, forcing workers to give notice of their intent to begin an unfair labor practice strike on March 21st at 12:01 a.m. That's right, they were out there at night. The previous contract between Chevron and USW Local 5 expired February 1st, and members have since been working on a rolling 24-hour extension. And they go on to talk about how disappointing it is that Chevron won't come to the table with a reasonable solution to what the workers are demanding. Again, they're talking about wages and working conditions, but Chevron will not come. So the USW, by the way, United Steelworkers, represents 850,000 workers employed in metal, pulp and paper, rubber, chemicals, glass, auto supply, and the energy producing industries. So shout out to the United Steelworkers Local 5 out there in Richmond, California. But I wanted to take a look really quick. If you could pop up C2 for me, Tunde. Chevron is a bad actor on the environmental stage. First of all, keep it in the ground, kill the black snake. We don't support oil extraction, petrol extraction, drilling, deep water drilling. Fuck that shit. There's sun, many days. Okay, there's wind, lots of days. There are lots of ways to meet the energy demands of the globe without having to continually fuck up the water, air, and soil to try to extract oil. Okay, this is just greed, capitalism, and fucking white supremacy. It's horrible. But C2, you guys, this is a tweet sent out by journalist Greg Palast in August of 2021. And it was originally posted by Twitter user Penny Opal, who lives in the Richmond, California area. Now, Chevron, the same refinery in which these workers are striking at today, has a pattern of having this fucking refinery emit horrible toxic smoke on a regular basis that seemingly ends up wafting into the black areas of the bay. Funny how that happens. Let's take a look at C2, and I believe this is Penny Opal who is giving her own narration of what she witnessed in August of 2021 at Chevron's Richmond, California refinery.
This is the Chevron refinery in Richmond, California. It is once again polluting our communities here in the area. Huge fire coming out of the stacks. The smoke is drifting northeast. It's coming right towards us. So if anybody living in this area in the East Bay, you need to get inside. You need to get your animals and pets and kids inside, everybody inside. Take care of yourselves. They're doing it again. They're horrible neighbors.
Horrible neighbors, horrible employers, horrible actors on the global stage. Chevron. So let's give a proper fuck you to Chevron. Thank y'all and thank you. Also, a strike action that I want to update you with just verbally. I don't have any video, even though there is lots of video should you choose to pursue it. The Minneapolis public school teachers strike has entered its 11th day. 11th day. This is now the third week that Minneapolis public schools have remained closed because the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers have said and declared that they are not with the shits. That meant that the state of Minnesota is sitting on a pile of money, and there's no excuse why Minneapolis public school students cannot have the access to mental health services that they need. There's no reason why the classrooms cannot be improved. There's no reason why teachers and the educational service providers cannot be paid a living wage. These people should not have to work 2 and 3 jobs in order to educate America's minds, young minds, right? Again, everyone who watches America from around the world clearly knows America's full of shit, just generally, right? But please understand that when it comes to the concern and caring of its children, America is absolutely full of shit. America does not give a fuck. All America wants these kids to know is don't say gay. And Martin Luther King had a dream that Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings was the best love story of all time. Like, that's basically what the United States, and that America's the best, right? So as long as the American children are learning those dreadful lessons, most Americans are satisfied. But normal people should be concerned that our public school teachers are not being paid a full and living wage. And the other thing, speaking of teachers, if you could pop up C3 for me, Tunde, the lecturer, this is actually from the Twitter account of @LecturersHU. The account started by adjunct professors there at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and non-tenure track professors, if I have that phraseology correct, who are striking because of their working conditions. These adjuncts say that among HBCUs, Howard University's adjuncts are the lowest paid, comparable to the cost of living, and very expensive. The rent is too damn high in Washington, D.C., and that they need some more money is basically what it comes down to. I mean, they have a long list of demands. I encourage you to check out, I think, like I said, Dr. Jarrod Ball did an interview on BPM, I'm pretty sure, speaking directly to the members of this organization who are teaming up, by the way, with SEIU Local 500 here in the DMV to represent them, which is fantastic. Now, what this tweet reads, it's part of a thread that they put out earlier today or late last night. And it said that what the thread said in part is that they have now resumed negotiations with the university, and that we are finally engaged in a good faith bargaining process that could result in a fair contract for non-tenure faculty. We're scheduled to bargain all day tomorrow, which is today, Tuesday, March 22nd. So I anticipate an update about the status of these bargaining negotiations probably this evening, if it has not already been posted. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this possible strike action from the adjuncts at Howard University. Howard University's had a rough year, haven't they? Yes, they have, with the Blackburn takeover and the news about Howard being engaged in shady practices with Corvius, and apparently Howard is employed the services of a known anti-union busting law firm. So Howard, as we have discussed on Black Power Media, like most HBCUs, not necessarily incubators for revolution, right? They are incubators to move kids along into the bourgeoisie, right? So they act like white folks sometimes. They give you big colonizer energy sometimes from the HBCU gang. And last but not least, we're going to touch base on Brittany Griner. If we could pop up D2 for me, Tunde. Free Brittany Griner. WNBA star and Olympic gold medal winner Brittany Griner remains in custody in Russia after being stopped at a Moscow airport, we assume, some point in February, since nobody don't seem to know a whole bunch of fucking details about what's going on with Brittany Griner. And if I'm not mistaken, I watched yet another episode of Meet the Press on Sunday because I hate watch NBC News and Meet the Press specifically. And that son of a bitch, fucking Chuck Todd, didn't ask nobody from the Biden administration jack fucking shit about Brittany Griner. And it is really it is making me incandescent with rage. Like I get magical powers when I get upset. Sometimes I levitate with fury. It's been known to happen. And the situation with Brittany Griner is really pissing me off. So the latest update came 5 days ago. Came from Russian media. Well, this is from ESPN, but they are reporting that Russian media is reporting that the detention of WNBA star Brittany Griner was extended until May 19th, a development that could see the two-time Olympic champion held for at least 3 months before her case is resolved. Now, I want to show you guys a video, and I'm dubious about all media. Okay, I know that American media is propaganda. I know that British media is propaganda. So with that said, I know that Russian media also can be propaganda. However, this video came from a Russian language website called MASH News. This is from their Twitter account, MASH Breaking. It's going to be D1 Tunde. So what this is purported to show is a clip, and this was posted a few days ago, but this is a clip allegedly of Brittany Griner appearing at a Moscow court where she reportedly pleaded not guilty to drug charges, and the court extended her detention another 2 months until May 19th. So if we could run that, and it's very quick. Okay, it's running. Wonderful. Okay. Now, again, I'm not familiar with MASH News. I cannot speak to the credibility or the authenticity of this clip, but that appears to be a 6'9" black chick, and Brittany is 6'9". And I don't think there's too many 6'9" black chicks out here. And that's it. All I see is this clip of her walking out of a doorway. I don't know if it's a courtroom. I don't know if this is in Russia. But if we were to accept this tape at his face, that does appear to be Brittany Griner. And she appears to look okay. She doesn't look injured. She appears to be healthy. But again, there is so dreadfully little news and few details coming out about what's going on to Brittany Griner, what the United States government is doing to get Brittany Griner back. If anything, we don't even know if they're doing any fucking thing to get Brittany Griner back. And again, y'all, I need for us to kind of get louder about this situation, because I look at it as, like I said earlier, if that was you, if that was me, who have decidedly less status, less money, less influence, less power, less celebrity, less notoriety than WNBA star and world champion Brittany Griner, right? If that was you or me, guess who would be left the fuck over there? And they wouldn't even said shit about it. Chappelle Show skit. No, actually, Killing Me Softly skit. Hello? Yes, we have 3 black. Hello, right? We are getting hung up on. Okay, let some shit happen to Black American, Black British overseas, Black South African overseas. They're not gonna mention that shit on the news once. Okay, they're not gonna mention it once. So the fact that Brittany has all these things, And she is still very much being ignored by mainstream sports outlets by and large, unless there was some development as reported by ESPN. But why this does not lead sports broadcasting, why does not at least get mentioned in the course of Russia-Ukraine war? Like, this doesn't even get talked about. Like, it's so dispiriting. And I'm just putting myself in Brittany's wife's shoes. I'm putting myself in Brittany's siblings' shoes, Brittany's teammates. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is she coming home? Like, can we see her? Can we talk to her? And there was a tweet that was doing some numbers over the weekend. And when I went to look for it again today, I was not able to find it, but I thought it was from Brittany Griner's wife asking, how come more people are not talking about Brittany Griner? And she must have deleted it. And again, because I can only imagine the amount of pressure that her family is under, probably getting from the State Department directly to not speak about Brittany's situation. But again, it's the squeaky wheel gets the noise, gets the attention, right? The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? If you're quiet about the shit, then they will continue to sit on their hands and not actively be trying to do anything, or at least not trying to actively update us on her status. And that's not acceptable. Like, that's not acceptable. Like, Brittany needs to come home, period, point blank, and everybody needs to get on board for this shit, okay? So anyway, thank you. Who said it? Holly. If it was LeBron, if it was Sue Bird, honey, if it was Sue Bird, they would have. And it'd be like, day 63, Sue Bird, hostage in Moscow. No, like, we don't even know what day Brittany got detained officially. And it's not brought up in the regular stream of the news cycle. So please keep Brittany's name alive in your circles, in your social media spaces. Correct people if they try to come with that, well, that finger wagging bullshit. Well, she shoulda. No, nigga, you don't know what the fuck was actually what. We cannot be dependent or even accepting about what the Russian take is. That it has nothing to do necessarily with them being Russia specifically, but it does play a part. But the fact it's the police, period, right? And Brittany could have got detained by the NYPD, and I would be saying the same shit. That's some bullshit. Weed, legalize it across the board, but what the fuck are you doing trying to detain it? It doesn't matter. Fuck the police, period. America, Russia, all the way. But please keep Brittany's mouth and not her mouth, but keep her name in your mouth and correct when people try to talk shit about what was she doing over there. Why was she doing this? Why was she doing that? Shirley, thank you, darling. Snack Pather, thank you. Paul X, BSOG, thank you. Louis Kang, thank you, thank you. Guys, come hang out with me tomorrow morning on the Remix Morning Show over there on Black Power Media. We go live at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Pacific. My math is not all that great sometimes. So it's usually a good time had by all over there over on BPM. If you have not already, please contribute if you are able to Daruba Ben Wahad's GoFundMe that Kamau and the good people at Community Movement Builders launched to support Daruba in his medical expenses. As you may have heard, that Daruba has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and the community responded hugely. I believe they raised $15K in 1 day or 2 days. So don't stop. Daruba is a former Black Panther, member of the Black Liberation Army, one of our OGs, our elders out here. It is important that we support them, especially in their time of need. So thank you to everyone who has already donated, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on Black Power Media for the Remix Morning Show. We'll see you back here on Friday, I promise, for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Guys, please don't forget, Omicron, BA2, COVID is still very much out here jumping on people. I do not want it to jump on you. Do what you need to do to make sure that you keep yourself, your family, and your community safe by please continue to wear your mask indoors. I don't give a fuck what your governor says. Put that fucking mask on. I mean that shit. And on behalf of me, Tunde, and Molly, we will see you guys back here Friday. Thank you guys for everything. We love you, Fire Fam. See you later. Bye-bye.